Lots of stuff going on today, Drive Safe Dave. One way, Dave, I should say. What's up with the one way?
One way. There's one way to do it today, and the one way to do it today is the safe way. And it's all pointing.
Oh, but not tomorrow? Just today is only one way?
You got to do it today. It starts today.
Every single day. We want to encourage you to make sure you're getting out and looking, to make sure you're looking for things, to make sure we are doing our job completely. And that means Drive Safe. I'm going to say there is only one way to do it, and that's the BCB way, the be safe, communicate, and everything else has to wait. That means being on the phone has to wait. Being on times later on down the road, being hungry and being distracted. You know what? That goes on the way. You got to be safe first.
That means wait for breakfast? Sometimes you got to wait for breakfast. Sometimes you got to wait. Whatever it is, you got to wait. You got to be safe first. You got to make sure you're good to go. Make sure you do a great pre-trip and get out there today and make sure you're ready. The number one person that has to be ready is you out there to make sure you do it right every single time. And here it is. The one way to do it today is the BCB way. And that's what we've got to focus on, the one way today. You notice I got it pointing right here at Sir Rick over here, the one way.
Yes, sir, we do notice that. Funny, your shirt looks different color on TV than it does in person. Bright orange, you're looking good, though. You're looking sharp. Next week, almost a week from today, the wedding stuff starts. I mean, you're going to start practicing walking your daughter down the aisle. Have you shed a tear yet?
Not yet. There's been some angry moments. There's been some shouting. There's been some pushing, and there's been some shoving, but there has not been any tears of joy just yet, I'm going to tell you. But you're right. I guess exactly 1 week from today is the rehearsal dinner, is the rehearsal over there, and going out there and making sure that I know how to walk down an aisle.
You know what? You'd be surprised. I mean, there's certain ways to do it. You got to walk slow. You got to talk when you're walking her down the aisle. All of that stuff. Hey, I'm a seasoned veteran. If you need any points,
I'm good.
Hey, come talk to me. I'll help you out there. Girl Scout cookies are coming out with a brand new cookie Drive Safe. And I don't know if you're a Girl Scout, hey, you can't go wrong to me with the sugar cookies. But here we are. Right, look at that. Caramel in the middle, a brownie-flavored cookie that just looks like a brownie anyway, but they call a brownie-flavored cookie with caramel in the inside.
You know what? It looks good. I'm going to have to try it. You know what? You've tried every Girl Scout cookie they have,
I have not. You know what? I stick away from the coconut ones. I'm a big fan of the Thin Mints.
I like who doesn't?
And the sugar. And I can live with that. The peanut butter, they're okay. You give me a glass of milk, and I'll eat the peanut butter all day. Don't get me wrong.
I'm not passing any of them. Somebody says, hey, would you like a cookie? I mean, you usually go, no, a glass of milk and
Hey, what do you do, though? So I mean, when it's Girl Scout cookie, and that runs from January through April, so we got a little ways to go here. But when we're going into the stores and you're going into Walmart, you're going
sales.
into the those girls put it on you. I mean, do you walk in and you, I'll come back out?
Hey, you want a Girl Scout cookie?
What are you going to say, no? I mean, it's unfair.
And all you know what's horrible, and all you're carrying is a 20, right? So you're getting $20 worth of Girl Scout cookies right then.
You know, back in the day, you used to say, I don't have any cash, and they got the answer for that. Hey, we take credit cards.
They do. We have what is that thing that swipes on the phone?
They got it all. They're ready to go. They have every reason, and they will ask you in front of everybody. I'm wondering if that's what they learned at Girl Scout. Now, they start learning about the high pressure, ask when there's lots of people around.
And start with a tear.
Yep.
And start with the crying and start out there and make sure you catch them when they're most vulnerable, especially in front of their children, right?
Yeah, right. Now, I will tell you this is that, last year the Girl Scout cookies, they took a big hit, a big wallop at 15 million unsold boxes last year during the COVID year.
Wow.
Yeah, 15 million. It's a lot of boxes.
So the good news is those cookies are still here.
Yeah, I don't know if they're going to, I don't know how that works. I'm kind of curious. I'm not a big fan of going into the buffet place to eat. There's a reason not to be the first one because you always get yesterday's food. So don't buy in January, February because you're probably getting last year's cookies.
I don't know that they do that.
I don't know if that works.
Please don't say that. I can't believe. Don't tell me that's yesterday. I've been eating buffets for a long time.
As long as you're not the first one, you're okay. As long as you're not the first. Hey, and other big news here, we had we have more autonomous vehicles. Waymo coming into Dallas, going to build on a 9-acre facility here. Going to partner with Ryder to do some of their maintenance. Drive Safe Dave, let's face it, these autonomous vehicles, they are just making their way across this country now. They're gonna figure this part out.
Yeah, they're going to get it installed, and they got the repair facility. I said on this deal, I was reading the article. Lots of mechanics, a lot of maintenance. So they anticipate a lot of repairs necessary to make sure that these trucks are fixed and keeping on the road. And it's good. They're partnering with Ryder, so I guess that Ryder and them are going to work together and coincide and make sure that this stuff.
That would make a lot of sense.
Yeah,
I mean,
I
don't know if that's breaking news. Not the fact that they're partnering with Ryder.
So now that they're autonomous,
may tell us that.
So they don't really. Are they going to need a driver's lounge? I mean, I'm just curious. Are they going to need a driver's lounge?
I think right now we still have drivers that are going to be in the autonomous vehicle, especially as they go through some of this practice. You know, when we see some of these SPACs companies, and these are the companies that are these autonomous vehicle companies that are coming into play, they're all over the place. They still, for the most part, are having drivers behind the wheel because there's certain things they just don't feel comfortable with right now. And this is the big hurdle they're all struggling with getting over, and that's making a left-hand turn.
I understand that.
Making that left-hand turn, when the vehicle's too far out, and merging onto traffic during the rush hour. Those are big items, big sale items that they've got to get over before they take that next step of putting actual cargo on the freight. They still say they literally have billions of miles of testing to go before this happens.
Yeah, and I get out there on the open road on the highway and staying in the lane and staying away from the traffic. But out there where all the little stuff goes, the little doggy running out, the children at the school ground, all the little things that make it really difficult off the freeway, the side roads and the stuff like that. So there's a lot of hurdles to go over.
And one thing that when you think about the autonomous vehicle, when you think about that, some struggles that we have today, and a big struggle we have in our industry, let's face it, is when you're at a stop sign, you're at a stoplight, and something happens then, Drive Safe Dave. Maybe you got to back up. Maybe you're too far up. Maybe there's a truck coming at you, and you got to back up to give them more room. The struggles that we have today is we forget because we're in the moment. We don't get out of that truck and go around to look. It's a struggle that we have as people. The autonomous vehicle, hey, guess what? If it has to do that maneuver, right? First of all, that's a struggle. How's it going to do that? How's it going to know it needs to back up? But if it were to back up, it has cameras on the back that looks everywhere, that knows there's not a child back there.
Right.
There's not another car back there. Those are the things that when we talk about goal, that, man, I just think with the autonomous vehicle that it's going to goal all the time. It will have the cameras out there.
Yeah, it has the cameras out there, and wouldn't it be nice if those same cameras were available to the driver each and every time as they back up? I mean, those, you're giving the autonomous vehicle a little bit more in the lines of technology to go back there and see when drivers need that same technology. And the way they do it,
yeah,
open the door.
I'll challenge you on that. I mean, companies do have that. The companies that keep a same tractor, same trailer, such as a Sherwin-Williams, they have it on the back of theirs. Companies that do a lot of backing.
Right.
And is it unfair, Drive Safe Dave, to think that if it's our job to get out and look, that we have cameras right here?
Oh,
if we have to get out and look, we got to get out and look. I don't know if it's unfair. You have to use the technology. And that technology is opening the door, walking to the back, using your eyes, and making sure there's nobody back there.
Agreed.
That is the technology today that we have. That's why we get out and look. That's why it's called that. So we do have opportunities, and you still have to use a tool. And we talk about that in Drive Safe Dave, but yet we still find ourselves in the newest technology. We see it all the time, riding on people too close. Oh. Even though the technology's saying don't do it,
beeping.
It's telling you no, we still do it. Not all of us, right? And not all of us don't get out and look, but it only takes one. Producer, what do you got?
Well, I was going to say something that the drivers have been bringing up a lot, and I think is interesting as well, is who's doing the pre and post trips on these trucks? I mean, if you ship to a shipper that's maybe not within your company, who's going to do that pre-trip? Are you going to have to hire somebody at every single dock to do that? When you talk about pre-trip,
you're talking about
or post-trip, I guess.
You know what? And I'll start it with this: who's doing it today? Who's doing it there? Are we assuming that the driver's doing it every time?
So if we're assuming that the driver's doing it every time, who's doing it on
technology? The technology can run through the truck, can run through the lights, and know that the lights work or not. That's technology. That's all part of it. Just like driving a truck. So hear me out. If a truck can drive on its own, I can tell you it can check all the lights around. It's technology that they will have when that happens. It's technology. Who's going to look for the damage on the tractor or on the trailer? Well, that's probably technology as well, because I just think with the cameras all around it, it knows and it can see the trailer damage right now. It can see damage to the truck. It sees that. These things are loaded with cameras.
Yeah, I know that they are loaded with cameras. I still think there's some areas that they can't see, like irregular wear on a tire or flat spot on a tire. I find it going to be very difficult for an automated autonomous vehicle to see that or identify a flat spot on the inside tire.
But that doesn't happen. So here we go. I mean, that doesn't happen every trip.
No,
right?
No.
You're not going to get irregular wear on a 3,000-mile trip. These trucks are going to go back to their terminals at some point, in which, guess what? When you pull into the shop, it's not robots. It's people looking at the truck, right? These trucks still going to have to get PM'd. They're still going to have to, get these things done. They're going to look at the tire wear.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes, I'll also, you take a truck, you trailer, and you drop it at a shipper, and sometimes they don't necessarily take as good care of the equipment as you would, right?
Well, hopefully you're not dropping trucks.
No, trailers. Okay, trailers.
Gotcha.
Right, and sometimes they get drug.
Okay, without a doubt.
And they're not taken care of, and then when they do, you have a flat spot on it, and then it goes back out on the road. And that's where what we're hoping is that when you're doing your pre-trip, you identify those issues and problems, and you can find that. It's just an example. It's an exception
and here's the deal, is that we're baby steps into this. Yeah. I mean, all of these things, I promise you, are going to get addressed.
You think so?
I mean, it will have to get addressed. I mean, I'll tell you this, is that there's technology today. As a matter of fact, I'm going to have a call with a company, and I'm going to get them on our show, so I'll save this for next week with some good data. But you would pull into our yard, and they are looking at that cameras, look at your tractors and look at your trailers, including a freaking seal number. Drive safe, Dave.
Nice.
All of that. And if you can read a seal, you don't think you can look at a tire depth? Yeah, technology, folks, I'm telling you. Hey, guess what we did back in the 60s? What did we do back in the 60s? We put a man on the moon, right?
In 69.
I mean, is it that hard to think that there's not a lot of smart people out there that can figure some of these things out? Yeah. Cameras that can do these things?
Well, yeah, I got a
camera.
Maybe
we don't have them, Dave.
Yeah, you do. They're on your phone.
I'm just telling you,
impressive.
Man, technology is absolutely amazing. Hey, at 7:13, you know what? We were talking about getting out and looking, and today it is something that we've got to do today. We got to do it, drive safe, because if you're not, you're backing up blindly, right?
Yeah, you're not seeing what's going on.
And I'm going to ask you this question, and here we go. Let's take the robotics out of it. Let's take the autonomous out of it. If you can't see what's behind you, why are you going out there and just backing up? Why would you do that?
You wouldn't.
No, you wouldn't?
You shouldn't.
You shouldn't. There you go.
That's like closing your eyes before you drive forward.
Okay, so let's stop there again. Okay, for BCBs, anybody out there that's watching this program right now, I think we have a new streak on the goal, right? Did we start back over at 0? And maybe it hasn't been reported, but I saw an email yesterday where we backed into another van at a four-way stop.
I saw that. I saw an email come out yesterday, but I looked at it.
So here we go. So we started back at 0, and let's assume that I'm right.
Okay. That
would mean the last 10 streaks have been ended by not getting out and looking. So you say you wouldn't, but drive safe, Dave, the last 10 times you have, because if you got out and look, even in I got to go on vacation, or man, there's a car coming out, I got to back up for a second.
Done it 1,000 times before.
Why would you wouldn't back into something intentionally? No. So we shouldn't, right? We shouldn't. We got a video kind of that we can play on G.O.A.L as well. Producer, can you throw that for us?
What do you think I'm doing?
I know, I'm just excited.
I know, but you've been doing this all week, and it's annoying. Shut up. God.
It might be annoying, but it's stuck. Remember, whenever you back up, use your...
Goal! You know what? Love that. Love the enthusiasm about getting out and look. Drive safe, Dave. I'm all over that. I have that same passion to get out and look because it saves lives.
I know. I'm getting you a horn so that you can run around in the yard and do that every day. That would be awesome.
You know what? It's a reminder to each and every one of you, and it needs to stick in your head, no matter what the circumstance is. You know how rushed you are. You can't take shortcuts, and that shortcut is a pre-trip, right? You got to do your pre-trip. You got to do your post-trip. Hey, guess what? When something happens and you've got to back up, you can't back up blindly. We don't want you to do that. We don't know what's behind you, neither do you. It may be a van, it may be a pull, but you know what? It may be my son, it may be my daughter, it may be one of your family members. Getting out and looking is that critical. Hear the horn, listen for the horn, hear it for yourself, because we don't want to start getting out and looking after we kill somebody.
Right.
That starts today. Make sure you get out and look. Make it part of your day, please. Drive safe, Dave. I know we have an interview here. I know we're going to talk a little bit about brakes this morning.
Yeah, we actually have a very, we have an expert is basically what we have on today.
That's weird. You know, usually it's just you and I on here. We make it up as we go. Today we have an expert.
We actually have an expert, somebody that's very, very, very smart in the world of brakes and does it for a living. So,
you know, I mean, is he better at taking breaks than you are? Because Drive Safe, Dave, you take more breaks than anybody, and you are the absolute best at taking breaks.
Well, I don't know about the best. I would consider myself skilled, but I would consider myself the best. I have yet to learn. I'm still practicing. So as long as I continue to practice taking breaks, I think I'll get better.
Without further ado, let's bring in the king of breaks. Who do we have? Jeffrey?
Jeff. Hey,
yes,
Jeff,
gentlemen. How are y'all today?
We're doing great. Hey, today, Jeff, do me a small favor, if you would. Introduce yourself, introduce who you work for, and what it is you do.
Fantastic. My name's Jeff Walker. I work for Meritor. I'm a district manager for them. And I cover Texas, Oklahoma, and Louisiana currently for Meritor.
And what is your experience, or what is your experience at Meritor?
So I have responsibilities for sales and service. I work with a lot of dealerships and teach them the proper way to maintain and repair our equipment, and as well as fleets, and teach them maintenance programs and how to properly maintain and repair the Meritor equipment.
Hey, Jeffrey, when we talk about the Meritor equipment, and you know, a lot of us have heard these words in here. Hey, what does that mean to us inside the office, or to the drivers that are listening today? What is it exactly that Meritor produces or gives the drivers out there in the equipment?
So on your typical Class 8 truck, we produce steer axles, drive axles, drive shafts, and brakes, both cam brakes and disc brakes. We do also produce trailer suspensions, tire inflation systems, and of course brakes on trailers as well.
You and the reason I think we brought you in here today, and I know you've done this a whole lot, and we have Brake Safety Week coming, Jeff. And the reason we brought you in is we kind of wanted you to go over the braking system on these trailers and on these trucks. Kind of give us a rundown of what it is that driver should be looking for and looking at. And if you would speak to that about the braking system, and I think Dylan, you have a slide or two for him to talk about.
Here we go.
All right, Jeff, you have the driver
Really, we need to do in preparation for an inspection. This is something that we need to make a part of our everyday. So, as I was saying, this is something that not only do we want to do just in preparation for an inspection, but this should be part of our everyday routine. These checks, I know a lot of the drivers have heard some of these checks before, but this is just to reiterate the importance of these checks. Obviously, brakes is one of the largest safety items on a truck, and so it's very important to be able to inspect them properly and make sure that they're operating correctly, just for the everyday safety of the vehicle. So with that, the first thing I'd like to talk about is air tanks. Our air tanks, we should drain those air tanks every day. And when we're draining them, we want to be looking for condensation buildup, and also any presence of any oil. I know that we run air dryers on these trucks, which should purge the majority of the condensation, but with the humid conditions that we run in sometimes, the air dryer may not get all of the water out of the air. And so that water can build up in the air tanks. And one thing to remember on that is water does not compress the same way that air compresses. So we can compress a large amount of air in a small tank, where when water is in that tank, water does not compress. So the amount of water is multiplied exponentially to the amount of air volume that we've lost to be capable of holding in that tank. So it's crucial to get any water out of the tank. And if we do notice any oil in the air tank, that would be critical to communicate that to our breakdown managers. Oil in the air tank can indicate a problem with our air compressor. So if we're seeing any oil in the air tank, we definitely need to communicate that to our breakdown manager and get that investigated a little bit further to find out where that oil is coming from. Along with inspecting the air tanks, we obviously want to check for leaks as well. There's multiple different ways that you want to check for leaks, both in the seat and out of the seat. So out of the seat, you're going to, of course, make sure that your brake system has 120 PSI of pressure built up in it. We want to make sure our brakes are set and that we're in a safe condition on level ground, and then walk around the truck and trailer and listen for audible air leaks that we may be able to hear as we're walking around. Air leaks is an item that is probably one of the most highly ticketed items during inspections. So once you get done walking around the truck and listening for leaks, then the next thing you would want to do is to actually sit in the driver's seat, press the service brake, and release the parking brake, and make sure that your brake pressure stabilizes on your gauges. Your gauges are going to drop some when you release the parking brake and press on the service brake, but they should drop 15, 20 PSI max and then stabilize. If that pressure continues to drop after that, then you have a leak in your braking system somewhere. Your pressure should not continue to drop. It's a good idea to have your windows rolled down when you're doing this test to listen for air leaks. If you were to have an issue with the chamber or an air line, then you could potentially hear the air leak as well with the brakes depressed. So that would definitely be a good check after you've done your walk around. The next major thing that you want to do while you're doing your walk around is you want to look and see if there's any oil around any of the brakes. The oil could come from the axle that the brake is mounted on, such as a wheel seal leak or a axle flange gasket leak. But it could also come from another source, such as an engine or a transmission, if it had a leak and it was blowing oil back onto the axle. So obviously, if we get oil on our brake shoes or our disc brake pads, then that's going to make that friction material less accurate, and it's not going to stop near as fast if it has oil on it. So any oil around the braking system needs to be inspected by a certified technician and repaired. It's definitely not a good mixture to mix any kind of lubricant with our friction material. If you're able to see your brake shoes on a drum brake system or your pads on a disc brake system, if you're able to see them, then you of course want to inspect them and make sure that there's no major cracking or separation in the friction material. Corner, it doesn't have a 90-degree corner, it's a chamfered corner in the friction material, and that chamfered corner is a great wear indicator. So when the chamfer is worn off of your shoe, then you know it's about time to get new shoes, and that chamfer will be gone when there's about 1/4 of an inch left of friction material. So you want to make sure that we're getting in there, having a certified technician look at those if you think that the shoes are getting low, and make sure that we're getting those replaced before they get too low. On the disc brakes, if we can go to the second slide, on the disc brakes, this slide has, I believe, 6 things pointed out on it, but we're really going to touch on 2 of the things that are going to be the easiest and the most important things for you to look at when you're doing your pre-trip inspection. So on your disc brakes, the green indicator there is our wear indicator on disc brakes, visual wear indicator. And it is just simply a spring-loaded pin. These lean over the tire, whether it be the rear dual tires or the tires on the steer axle with your hood open, just lean over and look at the caliper. You'll see this spring-loaded pin sticking out of the caliper. That spring-loaded pin has 4 steps on it. Okay? Each step represents 25% of wear between your pads and your rotor. So if you can see all 4 of those stepped down areas, then you know you have around 100% of pad and rotor life remaining. As that wear does occur, that caliper is actually going to slide, and when it slides, that pin is going to disappear into the caliper. When you get down to where you only have 1 step left of that visual wear indicator showing, then you know it's time to get the braking system inspected by a certified technician because you're getting down to the last remaining use on your pads or potentially your rotor, one or the other. And then also on the disc brake system, another really important thing to take a quick look at, you're not going to be able to see the whole entire rotor, but you should be able to see bits and pieces of the rotor through looking through the rim, and then also sticking your head over top of the tire and looking on the back side. You should be able to see bits and pieces of the rotor. And we want to make sure that the rotor is shiny on both sides. Obviously, if it's shiny on both sides, that's going to indicate that our pads are hitting on both sides and at least making contact with the rotor. If you have been driving and you notice that one side of a rotor or another side of the rotor has corrosion, and then you know that the pad has not been hitting on that side of the rotor, and it would be crucial to get that brake inspected by a certified technician. One thing to keep in mind with this, these rotors are bare metal. So if your truck has been parked for 4 or 5 days and you've been in a humid situation, then they can develop some light surface rust just from being parked 4 or 5 days. But if you've been driving this vehicle and you look at the rotor and it has any corrosion on either side of the rotor, then it would definitely need to be reported to a breakdown manager and get inspected by a certified technician. So again, I know a lot of these things you've probably heard before, but it is crucial to just be conscious of these safety items, not only during an inspection time, but also just as an everyday part of our safety procedures.
All right. Hey, Jeff, man, I appreciate greatly the expertise and showing us, and especially the slide, showing us some of the things that we should look for in the braking systems and stuff like that, walking around, checking around, and listening. All these things should be done during a pre-trip. We know this. My question to you is, during Brake Safety Week, how much does that impact what you do when you go out there and you talk to these other companies?
Well, it does impact it quite a bit, but fleets over time, current day, are more safety conscious than what they've ever been before. So yes, the topic does increase a lot when you get closer to inspections, but it is a topic that, it's something of the liability of potentially injuring or worse a human being is way greater than the liability of getting a violation. So this is something that we talk about 365 days a year.
I appreciate it. And yeah, we focus on safety as well. That's what we do here, and we appreciate it. Hey, Jeff, we want to thank you for coming in. We want to thank you for sharing your experience, sharing your knowledge. And if we can, we'd like to ask you again back here in the short future to go over some other things that we might have questions about.
Fantastic. I appreciate the opportunity, and I appreciate you sharing your time with me today, and I'm happy to be a part of future conversations. So thank you for that.
All right. Thank you very much. Appreciate you.
Hey, thank you very much, Jeffrey. Hey, BCB Live, we're the safest station in the nation. We're here to help educate all of us, right, on what we're using, what's going on out there, not just in the world, but with the equipment that we're driving. Drive safe.
Yeah, and what a better way, what a greater, I can't think of a greater way to show you our appreciation by bringing these people on Thankful Thursday to let you know how important not only you are, but the knowledge that we can share to you is there for you.
Hey, stay tuned for Buckle Up Bob and Mr. Dale Kelly.
This is Drive Safe Dave here. Going to do another safety show about get out and look. Ben Turner's hooking up and he's going to reposition the trailer into a new spot. He's going to demonstrate in the rain what it means to get out and look. Here we are outside getting wet, but you know what? It does not deter Ben of doing the right thing by getting out of the trailer and walking back and making sure it is safe back there before he backs up into the spot. He checks all the way around the trailer and then comes back and gets in the truck. Notice the lights are flashing. He blows the horn and starts the process of getting back into the spot. Here he is concluding it. Flasher's still going, making sure that he's visible and everybody knows what's going on. But you know what? Another reason this is successful is because he chose to get out and look the BCB way. Thanks, everybody, and have a great and safe day.
Good morning. It is Thankful Thursday. Hey, thanks each and every one of you. You know, I know we didn't get much to do it in that early segment like we normally do, but it was such an important interview there with that gentleman, and what a great knowledge. And so we're going to try to get excerpts of that and create a training module so that all of our drivers have the opportunity to be refreshed, right? We can do it set up where it automatically comes to your phone, the login every month, so that you get an idea of proper pre-trips, what to look for on the brakes. Because again, we know, as we've been talking all week, right? Brakes are our number one violation as far as points, as far as out of service, you know, and just in general, our vehicle maintenance score. And so all week we have been giving you them numbers, and yesterday we added the tires because these are the two areas that can make the hugest. I mean, folks, we'll have next to 0 points when you consider the grand scheme of things. If we would eliminate brakes and tire violations, we would probably be down, instead of 66th percentile, probably near 16. Because I guarantee you other carriers wouldn't be as good as us. So we have to be, if we're not number one in anything else, besides the crashes, of course, but as far as vehicle maintenance, what we need to be number one in is brakes and tires. If we do that, I promise you, we are going to be an amazing score. And what that means is, we know there's just no reason for any DOT to green light or flag us in, red light us in, that they would be, we'll pass every scale almost, because they're going to pull us up and see that we're at a 16 and not say a word. They're going to say, whoa, these people aren't even close. They're doing something right. And then that word gets out, and which is really what we want. We want our drivers, we want other drivers to come and ask our drivers, what are you doing over there at BCB that makes you so safe, right? That's when you know the culture is completely changed here at BCB, because it's not only changed here, but it's gotten out in the industry that, hey, whatever those folks are doing at BCB, they're doing it right. We need to find some of that, right? Get part of that. And so added the tires again today. Just like Monday and Tuesday, we went with total number of of violations and then the out of service. Yesterday, we went to total number of violations with tires, 13%. But here you go. 16 of those 19 were out of service, okay? So that puts them out of our total out of service, 43%. So you add that with the brakes, and you're looking at 75, just adding them numbers. Actually, with the rounding off and stuff, it's actually 76%. And then you stop and think, folks, that's just the out of service violations percentage. The points are much more, and these are the most point getters. So these would represent almost 90% of our points, probably, maybe even a little bit higher. So when you stop and think about that, 90% of 66, you know, our score is 66. If we reduce that by 90%, right, we're looking at 8. We're under double digits in vehicle maintenance. I guarantee you that would probably be number one. I don't know any carrier that's under double digits. So again, it's a hard goal, but it's not impossible, right? If we can get down, you know, we really want to be under that 20%. And then man, anything under 15, we are outstanding. So again, that's going to be our goal. We look forward to some training things to help assist our drivers, to where you're going to log in and take the training. And it's going to be one of those where you're going to have to watch maybe a video or something like what the gentleman shared with us, and then you're going to have to answer some questions based on that, what the content of that video, because we don't want you just going through and guessing at the scores. Okay, we want you to actually do the material and really learn and understand, because folks, as you've heard Sir Rick, Drive Safe Dave, myself, Dale, this is critical. Okay, this is not critical to the point where we're in trouble as a company, but it's critical to protecting life. Your brakes and tires are the best avenue you have, or the best resource that you have at protecting life on the road. We see we're in a real rainy season right now, and you imagine if you've got faulty brakes or bad tires on your vehicle, you know, and then we see some of the tailgate, you can't stop, folks, and then somebody's going to lose their life. So again, it's all about situational awareness. You know, as Sir Rick said, hey, having the knowledge but not applying it is nothing, you know. And it's a great question. We know, based on some of these inspections, that we are not doing pre-trips. Now, drivers will tell you, yeah, I do a pre-trip, but we're not doing good ones, right? Because we're still getting the violation. So something doesn't add up.
Or we're choosing not to get the defect fixed because I don't want to take the time out. You know, ruins my day. I'm started my clock already. So, I mean, there's a lot of reasons. There's a lot of excuses. There's no good reasons not to take care of that.
There you go. Great point. Excuses versus reasons. And this is where, you know, we want to empower our maintenance department, our DMs, that, hey, when you hear of a problem that's non-compliant, or you're not even sure, but you think it's not, get with us, ask us, and then put that driver on safety hold. Shut him or her down until you know for a fact that they are compliant out on the roadway. You have that power to protect the company, because a lot of times you hear about it before we get it. And, you know, don't wait to hear from us. If you're unsure, you're probably right. Get some advice. And if it's non-compliant, let's get the driver off the road and get this repaired, right? Don't keep driving. That's the main thing. Every driver that takes a piece of equipment out on the highway or any roadway, they must be compliant. And they're telling everybody that they've done a pre-trip that has made that equipment compliant. Well, let's get back a little bit. I want to really not overshadow the point that this is Thankful Thursday. Yeah. And we've got a lot to be thankful for. I forgot to change the number, so shame on me. But yes, Get Out and Look should be at 0. We did have one yesterday, and so I apologize for that. We will get that corrected. But we are at 93 days without a DOT reportable or a preventable accident, if you will. So great job, everybody. 1 week from today, we will hit the big triple digits. So that's what we need to do. And with this fleet, there's no doubt in my mind we can do it. Hey, we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back with some weather. All right. Hey, welcome back, everybody. And we do have some rain. It's kind of moving out of the Dallas area. It is supposed to dry up this afternoon and be a pretty decent afternoon. But you can see this system that just kind of pushed through Dallas early this morning around 5 o'clock. Dumped a lot of rain, right? So we got to watch the hydroplaning. You can see up there in Lexington. And then we got some back in west of Denver as well. So, and we do have a road closure, I believe, in one of the junctions there west of Denver on I-70. So, hey, make sure that you don't get stuck. I think we have a driver stuck in there. The road is closed. I will try to get some more information. I kind of got that, was reading that email right before I came to the show, so we'll try to get something out on the fleet message for you all. Let me do some investigating and find out what it is so you have all the information that we have. But as we can see, the rain and thunder today, again, Lexington currently expecting some strong storms. So if you're in that area, and around 5 o'clock, you can see the area grows again, just like yesterday. And again, this whole southern quadrant, the Ohio Valley, west, out west of Denver, some more chances for rain, possible and likely. Our wind gusts, we're going to see some wind out there with them potential rainstorms as well, stretching all the way down into Flagstaff area and up through Wyoming. So we do have a little bit of a wind, and you can see 37 gusts potential in Nebraska as well. Currently, not too bad, as we can see, we got some 18 sustained winds, so not too bad currently, but this afternoon it is expected to get windier. And in what we've been watching all week, here they are. You can see they are really pronounced now. So these storms did get stronger. This one is Grace down here, Merida. I don't know how to pronounce it, so I'm going to hope I did it right, folks here. I guess that's Mexico. It's just crossed that little peninsula, heading right here. So it does now look like the track's shifted a little bit north from yesterday. And actually, all it's doing, this map is catching up with the Weather Channel because they said all along that it was going to hit right here in Tampico, Mexico. So be ready for that. And again, out here, Henri is just supposed to make a little clockwise hook and head back out. So it's going to see some storm surge along the Carolinas, likely. But as you can see, some really big surface area. Some of the winds, 94 miles an hour. Okay, so that's hurricane strength. So again, these Henri has developed into a hurricane, and this one's going to be a little bit under just because it crossed landfall. But it's probably going to. Here's the eye. Oops. Sorry about that. Well, it's not going to let me do it, huh? There we go, 67. So there you can see the eye is really small there, but this is expected to grow as it gets back out in these warm waters of the Gulf and heads into Mexico. So we'll keep an eye on that. The track, I believe, it heads southward there is what they're thinking into Mexico City. So we'll keep an eye on that. And you can see how this hooked up and went north. So again, just going to see some, not expected to hit landfall, and none of these are expected to affect the U.S. So we'll keep an eye on them for everybody, but this is the two we're watching. And then we can kind of see if we got anything coming. Does not look like it. Maybe something might spawn out of that, but we'll keep an eye on that. But there's nothing really going on right now that they're watching as far as other hurricanes might develop. So far the track is good for the U.S. It's not going to hit us. So we'll take a quick break and be right back with some videos, everybody.
Hi, and welcome to Rapid Fire. Today we are joined by Music Man Mike. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. Favorite childhood TV show?
Oh, I'm going to go with Gilligan's Island.
Oh, that's a good one. On the scale of 1 to 10, are you good at keeping secrets?
Oh, 9.
Oh, okay. Is it wrong for a vegetarian to eat an animal cracker?
There's nothing wrong with animal crackers.
Have you ever worn socks with sandals? Tell the truth.
I have to tell the truth because my wife's probably going to see this.
So I'm guessing that's a yes.
And she calls me Felix because we know a guy that used to do it on a regular basis.
Okay. Do you know the definition of triskaidekaphobia?
Triskaidekaphobia. Would be something to do with frisbees, I think.
Actually, the extreme superstition of the number 13.
Oh, wow.
And what is the sound you would make if you were freezing cold?
No, that's a horse. I'm sorry. Brr.
I like it. Thank you for joining us.
Hey, welcome back. It is whatever he is today.
It is Thankful Thursday with
so
double
Thankful Dale.
Yeah.
We're live with Thankful Dale, and he's going to get some videos for us.
And I'm thankful for our drivers and all the safe driving, all the things they do, all the knowledge that they share with each other, all their willingness to learn from others and to watch these videos and to help me learn what's going on out there. So let's roll some videos. The first one's just, again, just kind of a repeat of what we had going on yesterday. We are running, mid-50s right here. We've got lots of traffic, not lots of traffic, moderate traffic, but 3 lanes of road. We have a merge point. Our driver starts slowing down way ahead of time, notices the merge point, and starts making the adjustments to it. Just a great job. These wet roads, we talk about it with the brakes and the tires. I mean, if your brakes or tires are compromised, it takes you longer to stop. And so by slowing down for this and making adjustments and then some courtesy, letting these drivers in, just a great job by our driver.
Terrific job.
we always say not all hard brakes are bad. And here's the case, we start this video out, we've got great following distance here. Our speed is, when we go past the sign, it says 45, we're at 47. So our speed is, maxed out and a little bit over where we need to be. And so you get to thinking, if we're running 3, 4, or 5 miles underneath the speed limit, does this hard brake happen? We get stopped in time in situational awareness. If you look at the big picture, there's a stoplight ahead, and that's what this straight truck is probably slowing down for. Plus the road looks a little rough. And so again, you just stop to think, if we're managing our speed to just a little under the speed limit or due to road and weather conditions, and we've slowed down, this hard brake doesn't happen. And again, the driver didn't do anything wrong because, we kept the distance. The following distance started out great. It's just, like I said, ways to learn. How do we get better? How do we improve?
Yes, and great points there. Again, our driver's safe. But we want to think, did he do the safest thing? And I'm not going to say he did or didn't. That's the question everybody has to ask, The situational awareness, you mentioned some of the things. We've got rain. We've got rough roads, right? We've got an intersection coming up, right? So again, why are we going that fast? 47 is not overly fast. But when you put all the other situations that are coming up that you've got to be aware of, then again, you're driving safely here. There's nothing unsafe that I can see. What we're saying is this the safest thing that you could have done in that moment? And that's all we're asking you to reevaluate, think about, and maybe grow from. Good stuff.
This is an interesting one. Again, it's been a rainy, wet season or week, and so we're seeing a lot of rain. We go past that sign, curve 20 miles an hour, we're going to go to another one. And I have the luxury of looking at the metrics. We never get below 24 miles an hour. There is a reason that they put those, warning signs up, the speed limit signs. Those are for perfect conditions. As we can see, we're not in perfect conditions. Again, the roads are wet, slick. If your tires or brakes are compromised, it takes more. We have really got to get below that posted speed when we take these corners. There is a reason they put them up there. It's inertia and centrifugal force. And so drivers, really be aware of that when we go into these curves that are posted. Get down below that speed so we're at the safest possible speed for it.
Yeah, and they're also posted for cars, four-wheelers, not semis. So,
this one is actually, I believe, the road right out here. Can't think of the name of it. Here in Mansfield, huh? Heritage Parkway. This is a stability event. We take this corner about 30 miles an hour. So I'm thinking, okay, the driver's probably been through this before. So was he distracted, complacent that he didn't slow down enough for it before? I understand it when we start taking corners a little quick in a place we're not familiar with, but this driver definitely is familiar with this place. And so we have to, when you know your surroundings, make sure you're at the proper speeds, make sure you're doing everything right, because this should not have snuck up on us at 30 miles an hour around this corner. And you can see we kind of loop it a little wide. Gives us a stability event. So, to really need to manage our speeds, know where we are, and be where we need to be speed-wise. This one is, I call this one stoplight done right. I mean, this is just perfect from the get-go. Our driver is slowing down ahead of time. The vehicle, he's got plenty of speed and space. He's slowed down ahead of time, slows down right up into the point of commitment where that light's going to be green, goes through it at a lower speed. And what does that do? It helps him on the other side because this white vehicle is going to make a turn. And now we're not right up on the back of that white vehicle. And we get to the same place at the same time as if we'd have been crowding him. So just a great job of how to do a stoplight right.
Awesome job. I couldn't agree more. That was textbook, it looked like. I didn't see anything that we could have done differently there. All right, everybody. It is Thankful Thursday. Do we have anybody with any comments this morning? Either on the brake expert or our videos or any weather concerns?
I mean, that brake guy was just so interesting to listen to the different parts. And like I said, disc brakes they've been around for a while, but really gaining popularity. But just to learn more about them, it was great stuff.
Yes, and we're going to that's one of the things we want to do. I know Sir Rick has talked about it, and he's gotten everybody involved. We want to get more guests in here that can help our drivers. Who we got, producer?
Yeah, we got Daniel Bass on the line. What do you got for us, sir?
Hey, Daniel. Good morning.
Mr. Bass, what do you got for us?
I think sometimes Daniel's struggles to get on too. I mean, he gets on usually, but sometimes he has a couple issues.
All right, cool dude. What do you got for us,
The cool
sir?
dude. Good morning. I gotta think of a good nickname for him since he calls me Bob-tastic. What can I call him?
I feel like cool dude is a fitting name there.
It is pretty good. Yeah, it's kind of hard to improve that one.
Cool dude, you should be able to unmute yourself now.
I almost don't even know his real name. I know it. I know it, but it's like Bob-tastic, Wonderful Warren. Jumpin' Jackson.
There you go.
Jump Jackson. All right. Hey, everybody. We're going to go ahead and we'll say a little prayer.
Close this out.
You know, and we'll get ready for Ache Ere here in a minute. But, dear Heavenly Father, Lord, we ask you for continued blessings and safe travels for each and every one of our drivers that they may return home to their families and to their BCB family, Lord. Lord, today would love to just say a prayer for the world, Lord. It is, not been a good few days. We pray for the people in Afghanistan who is under siege, Lord. We ask that you intervene if it be thy will and just help those families survive this, Lord. Help the leaders of this world not point the finger at each other or different kind of political parties, but to come together and do what's right to protect life, Lord, to give the people a break over in Afghanistan and around the world. We have that capability, Lord. We just got to use it. We've got to work together, and we pray that it be your divine will and intervention that you show them how to work together, Heavenly Father. Protect them. Protect the people, the innocent people that are just in the wrong place, right? And they can't do nothing about it, Lord. So we want our leaders to look to you and to make good decisions. We continue to ask the blessing of Brian and Rick for them to make wise decisions for the company that helps keeps us all safe. Lord, help me and Dale and everybody here at BCB do the right decisions that protect our drivers and protect the lives of those around us, not just our own, but anyone we come in contact. Heavenly Father, again, we want to thank you for your son, Jesus, and again, for your continued protection and strength for our brother, Larry Graham. And it is in your son's name we pray these things. Amen.
Amen.
All right, everybody, we will talk to everybody this afternoon.
My computer's off. Bro, where you been? We've been looking for you.
I was at home.
Bro, you need to be here.
6 a.m. I'm just walking
Let's
in.
go. Let's go.
Okay.
Kike, I need a trailer.
Okay.
Enrique, I need a trailer, please.
Okay. Stand by.
Enrique, it can't be 6 o'clock. I don't come until 7. That means you're late.
Bro.
I need a trailer. Pronto.
I'm working on it, bro.
Hey, Enrique,
JN 7904 se fue y no está la carga lista. Luego ocupo el 418 que ocupa trailer porque ya va tarde para trailer. Y la local que me diste, nomás no va a la vacía, ocupa hacer a alguien más.
Dame chance. Okay.
I need a trailer.
Okay.
Enrique, we need stuff. Enrique, come on. What are you doing? Enrique, let's go. What are you doing? Enrique, you're taking too much time. We got people waiting. Enrique, let's go. Move it. Enrique! I got this.
Enrique, I still need a trailer.
Jesus. Okay. 1 second, guys. I just got here.
All right. I got this. Calmate, Gabby. Hey, even though we give my man Enrique a hard time here, I know he's trying day in and day out to make sure everybody's taken care of. We will continue to do our part to make sure you guys are squared away. We just need your help. It's a joint effort. Make sure you guys are doing your empty moves correctly. You're sending in your loaded calls, your empty calls. And last but not least, make sure you guys are throwing those macro 39s so my man DJ right here can get you guys squared away.
Hey, everybody, and welcome to BCB Live. This is Drive Safe Dave, along with one of the fantastic, great owner-operators that we have in this company, Will Stevens. What's going on, Will?
Nothing much, just hanging out.
Hanging out. And you know what? You truly were just hanging out out in the lobby out there. And I said, hey, come on in here and let's talk a little bit about safety.
Safety.
You good?
I'm good.
So first of all, tell me a little bit about yourself before we get started, Will. I know we've talked to you before about it, but where are you from?
Mansfield.
No, I mean originally.
Mansfield.
You've lived here all your life? You go to Mansfield High?
Well, I was born in Fort Worth.
Whereabouts?
Harris Hospital.
Oh, okay. Well, so was I. Did you live over in Fort Worth or you always lived here?
I lived there till I was 10. I moved here in 71.
Oh, you did?
Just like a block away right here.
Oh, you did? No, were you, well, in Fort Worth, where side of town did you live in Fort Worth?
It was Rico Road. It was like 28th Street.
Oh, north side?
Yeah, north side.
Oh, you live north side?
Yeah.
Yeah, I lived on east side. I lived in Eastern Hills.
Oh, yeah.
That's where I grew up. And then my parents were from Poly. But I digress. This is about you, not about me, because I can make it about me all day long.
Let's make it about you, man.
Huh?
Let's make it about you.
No, and that's not why we're here. So you're a hometown boy?
Yeah.
You went to Mansfield High School?
Mansfield High.
Was it a 2A or a 3A when you went there? 2A?
I'm not even positive. I think it was.
I think it was because what year did you graduate out of Mansfield High?
78.
78? Oh yeah, it had to be around 2A.
Yeah, it's the one way out Walnut Creek.
Uh-huh.
I don't even think it's a high school now, is it?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah.
But it's okay.
Just relax.
Just relax. You're good, man. And your new wife, right?
Wife?
Yeah.
4 years. A couple days ago.
Yeah, but that's new. I mean, I'd say 4 years is.
Well, we've been together 13 years though.
Yeah, but it's different, right?
Yeah.
When you say it is a little different after you get married.
Right. Yeah.
It's things different. Change.
Yeah,
right.
It changes.
I'm just saying it's I'm just saying I learned a long time ago, and I don't know. I learned a long time ago. After women, they marry you and they think they want to improve on what they get. Men get married, we kind of just want it to stay exactly the way it was when the day we got married.
That's me.
Kind of two different pathways to the same thing, right?
Yeah, exactly.
But enjoying yourself. Still kind of a honeymoon phase, I guess.
Yeah, yeah. It's
then
good.
don't you have a dog?
Buying a house.
Are you buying a house? Whereabouts? Over in Joshua. Oh, 917.
It's right off 1187.
That's okay. It's not a quiz. This isn't a pop quiz.
I think this restaurant. It's something Nelly B's or Nanny B's or something. You heard of it?
I don't know.
It's just right behind.
Is it good? I mean, that's all I care about. I mean, it's good food.
It's hamburger joint.
Then I might need to go. I mean, I'm just saying, if
Nanny
it's good
B's.
Drive Safe Dave probably needs to check it out.
You need to check it out. It's on that side of Joshua.
Nanny B's, right out there.
Something like that.
In Joshua, I'll be lining that up one weekend with my wife. I'll say, you know what, we got to go.
It's good.
All right, I like it. Do they serve good lunch? What does they serve?
Yeah, I think they only do.
What, that
I've
breakfast
only been
and
there a
lunch
couple
thing?
times. Yeah, I think they stay up there like 7 though. Actually.
Oh, 7's a long time.
So,
that's right about my bedtime.
I've only been there twice, so I ain't for sure. Yeah, it's about my bedtime. For sure.
So owner operator, right? Owner operator here. How long you been here, Will? It's been a while, right?
Well, I quit for 6 weeks, but besides that, 5 years in January.
Yeah, we don't count that. We just say you just got lost.
You got killed on vacation. Vacation time.
Just 6 weeks. Yeah. I mean,
it was a little extended vacation, but
I mean, for me, you just got lost.
I
did.
Yeah, I did. For real. Yeah.
So I'll tell you what. You're getting excited. We got FedEx coming up this year, right? We're going to be doing a lot of FedEx. You always do a lot of FedEx, right?
Love my FedEx.
Yeah, we'll be doing that again this year. I'm excited about it for you. And but really, what I wanted to talk to you about, Will, is safety and your take on it as you've been here over 5 years. And what the show has meant to what is BCB Live meant to you is safety at all. What has it meant to you, really?
Well, I enjoy it. I listen to it mainly in the morning time. I get some out of it. You know, it's pretty good. It makes you more like my speed. I'm kind of.
We all know about Will Stevens.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Thinking. Yeah. But I'm more alert on it now. You know, I'm steady watching it.
Right.
You know, so, the speed and the space, which I've always left space.
Right.
I believe in that. Sometimes I get a little too close when I come up to a red light, but But on the highway, I'm always leaving my space.
Yeah. See that concrete when you pull up to them at the red light? Make sure you see that concrete.
I hear you say that.
Yeah,
I try to always do, but sometimes I don't. Yeah.
Make sure you lean over and reach over and see it. And I'm going to just tell you, Will, I mean, look, you're an owner-operator. You take good care of your equipment. You got a lot going on. And it's important that we hear what, and I know you say you've been doing this a while, right? You've been driving a while, right?
Oh, yeah.
How important, what kind of value do you place on safety? Seriously.
100%.
I mean,
it's above everything.
Above everything. It's got to be first?
Got to be first.
Got to be first.
Got to be.
Do you have any, you got any family out there on the road?
Oh, yeah.
You know what I say? All my family's on the road.
Right. I have 6 kids. All but one's driving, so yeah.
Oh, you got 6 kids?
You have entered as
oh, my
an
goodness.
organizer.
Yeah, all but
May
one's
now
driving, and
speak
she
to
just
any
went to
other-
driver's ed, so she'll be driving next year.
Oh, you ready?
I ain't ready for that one.
No, you're
I done
not.
bought her a truck, though.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
What kind of pickup did you get her?
I bought it off my dad. It's a 99 Dodge, but it only has 71,000 miles
Oh,
on it.
that's not bad.
No,
that
it's
ain't
an
broke.
option.
That's just barely broke in.
Yeah. Yeah, he didn't hardly ever drive it, so.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Yeah, I done took it to the shop and had a little work done. It's good to go. She's all excited.
Oh, I
She's
bet.
out there cleaning it. We're gonna drive it down. She gets a permit here like in a few weeks.
Oh, yeah, so you'll be riding around with her a little bit. Oh, that's exciting.
Yeah, it's going to be cool.
Yeah,
I'm
getting to ride around with my daughter a little bit.
Are you?
Yeah.
Oh,
she's 25. I get to ride with her. She's getting married in 11 days.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, it is
That's
good.
sad,
I'm
too.
ready. It's not sad.
Are you
I'm
ready?
No, I'm ready.
25. That's good.
Yeah, I'm
25.
ready to give her away.
Are you?
Yeah. I mean,
Done. Here, take it. I understand.
I love her and everything, but I am ready.
My daughter did me wrong. She went and got married and didn't even tell me.
Oh no! Yeah, I wish mine had. And so
no, you don't. When you find out, it's like, what?
What? Yeah, you know, you get the best.
We're gonna have another one. We're gonna have the big one.
I wouldn't have minded she told me and then ran off and eloped. You know what I mean?
Yeah. If you knew.
Yeah. If I know now what I knew then, whatever. Other than that, do you have? If you talk about BCB Live, and I just want to get this from you when we talk about it, because I do like talking to the owner operators about it, because it's a good way in which we can communicate. But if you had to pick one particular part of the show that you get the most out of, I mean, just if you had to grab it and say, you know what, I like that part. Is it the weather? Is it the videos? Is it the talking back and forth? Is it the education? Is it the guests?
Well, I like the talking. The videos are nice. You learn from them. But I like the updated videos. Usually when the videos start, that's when I usually get off right in there.
Right.
You know,
So you just, but definitely the weather.
Not so much the weather.
Not so much the weather.
Well, I just go to Oklahoma City and back.
There's weather.
But I'm sure it helps them out there, though.
I'm telling you what, you been on the Arbuckles when it gets bad?
I lived in Ardmore.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. You know where Ardmore
I'm
is?
just saying, yes, I know where Ardmore's at.
Yeah, so
of course I do.
Right there by the Arbuckle.
Exit 33.
Well, that's flying, Jay. It's a little bit farther, but not much. About 50.
Yeah, yeah, I've been there.
Yeah. It don't get that bad.
No.
Last winter, I was in a pretty good storm up in Oklahoma City.
Right.
Yeah, sliding around.
It's bad, isn't it?
Yeah, it gets bad.
It does get bad.
It gets slick.
And whenever we do that, I think what I like most, and I like to know that you listen to the show. You don't always get everything out of everything, but you take some of the things with you when you go and do it.
Even if you ain't paying attention, it's still sinking in.
Sinking in all the time.
You might be doing something else, but I have my headset on.
Right, you listening?
Yeah, and it sinks in.
Oh,
I catch myself doing things that y'all talk about. I'm like, wow. Oh, okay. I'm like, no, I'm not.
Did you in the show and stuff like that? I guess because you actually participated. I mean, I've heard you on, and I've heard you listen and stuff like that. But my favorite is, don't you have a dog?
I do. Banjo.
Banjo. That's right. Where is Banjo?
I didn't
right?
bring him because I just brought a trailer over here and it's raining. I didn't want to get him out. But he's always with me, man. He's always
that dog wants to bite everybody.
Well, he just plays.
Is that play?
Yeah,
that's
play.
with teeth. Why does that dog play with teeth?
Well, we driving down the road. I'm like, cows. horses, you know. So
what
yeah.
happened to just be nice to cows and be nice to horses?
Yeah, he's got to have something to do. You know,
Banjo is off the chain.
Yeah, he's my buddy. He's my best buddy.
He's your riding buddy?
Yep. He rides my Harley Davidson with me, everything.
Does he really?
He's my buddy, yeah.
Where do you ride your Harley at mostly?
I don't ride it much, really, actually. It's just too many people around here.
If
I do, I head out.
Gone?
Yeah, I head out. You know, I live in Burleson. So,
no,
and I go that way out to the country.
First of all, you told me you live out. Are you buying a house out in Joshua, though?
Yeah, it'll be next week.
Oh, yeah? You closing? Yeah. You closed on it already?
Next week.
Closing on it? You ready?
I'm ready. It's supposed to close today, but the appraisal ain't come back till tomorrow, so it's doing.
Oh, yeah. They got every reason in order to delay it. Hey, man, I do appreciate it. And look, just so you know that everyone here at BCB appreciates what you do, how you do it. And I just want everybody to know, if you get an opportunity to see Will or out there in the lobby, because you hang out a lot sometimes. Sometimes. Almost too much, right? Well, where's the food?
In the morning time.
But
yeah,
you like
the food?
Yeah, where's the food? Yeah, I know. And he's always around here looking for the food. If you see Will Steven around looking for food, just make sure you give him and Banjo some, right?
I am owner operator, so I do take out handouts.
Make sure that you say hi and get to know another member of the family, how important it is, what it is we do here, and to try to make sure that we all know one another. That's the reason I like to put everybody's face on the screen. Everybody has a chance to get on here and get to know each other and say hi. We thank you very much for coming in, saying hi, and appreciate you a lot. All right. Thanks, everybody. We'll talk to you later. Bye.